Why is Zeus siding with Troy? Because Zeus really didn't want to side with Troy.
Because Achilles' mom went to go.
What's Achilles' mom's name?
Thetis.
Achilles' mom, Thetis. Okay, Achilles' mom, who was always on the side of the Greeks because her son is a Greek. Okay, so Thetis, Achilles' mom Achilles went to his mom Thetis and said what?
To give the Trojan a victory.
Go to Zeus and pray for a Trojan victory. Now, there's more to this story than just that. Okay, why is he praying for a Trojan victory? There are two females involved. Anybody remember their name?
Chrysis and Briseis.
Chrysis and Briseis. Okay, now let's talk about the two. Chrysis puts the Greeks in a crisis situation. Okay, it's a crisis. And what is the crisis situation?
The sickness.
Why does Apollo care? Because his daughter, Apollo. All right, so Apollo's priest has a daughter, Chrysis. Okay, and now she has been taken slave of the Greeks. And so Apollo, who is on the side of the Trojans, is angry, and he's sending down plague on the Greek camp, and it's killing the Greeks. Okay, so Agamemnon, the high king of Greece, decides that he is going to send Chrysis, who is his girl, right? Chrysis back to the Trojans in order to stop Apollo from the plague, right? To stop with the plague. And so remember, Agamemnon was awarded Chrysis as his trophy, and Achilles was awarded Briseis as his trophy, okay? Agamemnon treated her like a slave girl, Chrysis. Achilles treated Briseis like his girlfriend, and they actually fell in love. And so Agamemnon said, yeah, I'll send Chrysis back over to the Trojans, but I'm going to take Briseis from Achilles' hall. Okay? Now, how did Achilles feel about that?
He was mad. He didn't like it.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
Okay? That's my girl. He fought for her. He would have fought for her, but he actually cried for her, which was a really big deal. Okay? He went and cried, and that's when he met up with his mom. When he was crying, his mom came, what's wrong, honey? I'm angry because Agamemnon took my girl. Okay? So anyway, that brings us to Menelaus. Who is Menelaus?
He's wishy-washy.
Agamemnon's brother, which brings us to wishy-washy. All right, it is Menelaus is Agamemnon's brother. So Agamemnon is the high king of Greece, and Menelaus is the king of Sparta, which is a city-state. So I want you to think of him like the president, and then think of him like a governor. Okay, so Menelaus was married to Helen, right? Helen of Sparta, and then she met who? Paris, and got all wishy-washy on us. Okay, and went over back with Paris to Troy. Now, who is Paris?
He's the king of Troy.
He is the king, not the king, the prince of Troy. The prince of Troy. Now, let's talk about Paris a little bit. Give me a little bit about his character.
He's coward.
Coward. Okay. He ran away from battle yesterday, didn't he? And what is Helen starting to see about him?
That he's coward.
Maybe he's not the man that she really wanted to marry. Because remember, she was married to Menelaus. Is he going to back down from a fight?
No.
No. Okay, he's a Spartan. He's not going to back down. All right, that brings us on to, we'll talk about Patroclus. Okay? Now, Patroclus, I told you that the Trojans were going to do something to Patroclus that was going to set Achilles off. Okay? Patroclus is Achilles. In the movie, he's Achilles' what? You know? Cousin. But in the book, they're friends. Remember, it dates all the way back to Chiron, who was their trainer, right? They were friends from then. All right, so Hector is actually the one who does something to Patroclus that sets Achilles off. And Hector is what? Paris' brother, right? He's the prince of Troy. Similarities and differences between these guys.
Hector, he's not a coward.
Hector is not a coward. He is a brave warrior. He has a legitimate wife, like he's not a wife stealer. Her name is Andromache. And he has a child that's legitimate, okay? So he's a good man. You would want to marry him. You would want to throw him off a cliff, okay? All right, Odysseus. Odysseus is what?
Smart.
He is smart. And why is he smart?
Because.
Who's on his side?
Athena.
And Athena is always on the side of the Greeks because what? Because Aphrodite is for The Trojans, because Paris chose Aphrodite to get the apple, right? Okay, so let's go back to Odysseus. Athena gives Odysseus an idea, and what is that idea?
The Trojan horse.
The Trojan horse, which ends up winning the Trojan War, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and now let's talk about Nestor. Wise old Nestor. Who is he?
The peacemaker.
He's the peacemaker. He's also somebody they always go to and ask for battle strategy. Who is he trying to keep peace between right now?
Achilles and Agamemnon.
Achilles and Agamemnon, because he knows if these two fight, that Greece is in trouble. Okay? How do we describe these two men? They're both what?
Powerful.
What?
Powerful.
All right, but what's the word we use? Alpha males. Okay, they're not going to back down from each other. All right, and that brings us to Ajax. We talked about Ajax a little bit today in our reading. Ajax has no brains, all muscles. So he and Hector are going to fight today, and they're going to fight and realize they're very equally matched. And so what are they going to do?
Exchange gifts.
Exchange gifts. Okay, exchange gifts. And then finally we have King Priam. King Priam is the king of what?
Troy.
King of Troy. Who are his sons?
Hector and Paris.
Hector and Paris. Okay? All right, any other questions? Who's Eris, by the way?
She's another god.
But what does she do?
She's
the goddess of
Discord.
Discord, and she started everything by doing what?
the golden apple.
Presenting the golden apple. Okay? All right, is this a war between men or a war between gods?
Gods.
Seems like it a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Seems like when they're in control, things tend to shift. Today, you're going to see a big shift to Troy. You're going to see more Trojan victory. Why?
Because Zeus.
Because Zeus is in there.
Zeus. Okay? Zeus is going to be for the Trojans today. Any questions? All right. Sounds